Welcome back to my channel, Blast from the Past Farming. Well, today I'm not really farming, but doing a little projects. My grandpa used to make these barns 70 some years ago. Gave them to a couple of my brothers. Then my dad started making them using the same pattern. And he made 20 some of them for all his grandsons. He passed away about 20 years ago, and I got a hold of the pattern since I'm only one out of the seven brothers, or six brothers, in the family that actually does woodworking. So I'm making some wood barns, one for my grandson, and I've got a boy that will probably get married soon, and they want some kids. So hopefully there's a grandson coming in that picture. So I'm making two barns right now. I'll turn the camera around. Getting them painted right now before I put the flooring for the hayloft in permanently. This is just up here loose, and between that and putting the roof on makes it a lot easier painting. So I got these two barns, getting them painted. I have three more barns cut out over there and over there. I'm not going to cut a hole in here for the big barn door. Kids play with them too hard, but then they keep ripping the little hinges off. So I'm just going to borderline it with white little boards for a hayloft. And the same with putting windows on the back side. I'll just make little squares for windows. This part of the barns this is going to be white, and the roof's going to be green. And then when my mom passed away, my dad had two extra barns made, and we did a drawing. I ended up with one of them. So yeah, I'm going to carry on the heritage and tradition that my grandpa started, 70 some years ago. So I got something to do this winter instead of sitting in the house. I'll give you some more updates as we go along. Well, I got my little can of white paint out. Actually, two of them. The first one had a lot of skin on it and stuff, but I used what I could out of it. Now we got the second coat of white paint on the interior of the barns. I'm going to put glue on these boards here where I didn't paint at all yet before I brad nail them in. Got my little opening to throw the little square bales of hay down to the cows. I'm done on there, and the other three over there for the next three barns. So I'm a gaining. Next step would be I've got to flip these two boards over yet, give them one more coat of paint on the other side. Then after that is to put the flooring in for the hayloft on both of them, and then start doing the roof panels. When I get it all done, then I'll mask off the bottom in here, and this is going to get painted gray. And the edges here are going to be red. This is going to be red, but the floor is going to be gray. Then after that, this is going to picture frame out where, quote unquote, the windows are going to be. Well, I've got the inside of the barn all painted up. Then yesterday I put on the nailers for the roof. That, and cut a hole in here for the hay chute. So I got both of them done. Painted this part of it about 3 hours ago. Earlier I said this is going to be white, but this is going to be red with a green roof. So next step is to start putting a roof on them. This part here is going to be on hinges so you can lift it up. And I have some little popsicle sticks, and I saved back some corn dog sticks and I'm going to use those for putting a ladder to go up there. Very time consuming, but it's better than sitting in the house. Had to use my hand planer and plane this edge down on both of them to get the right angle here. I had it pretty close, but I had to take off just a little bit more. It was easier just to nail it on and then use my little hand planer, electric one, and zip it across there. So I'm not going to work on this until Monday now. Today is Saturday. Still got a lot of winter to go, so I don't want to rush it, even though I'm going to make another 3 barns yet, which is all cut out right there on the bandsaw. So, well, catch up with it later. Well, I'm out here and I got the red part of the barn painted. Looks pretty good. And the white's all done. I'll come back out here after a few hours and give the red another coat of paint. Everything's getting 2 coats of paint. And after I get that painted, then I'm going to paint the floor in here gray. I have to use a tiny little brush to get these little pieces in here done right and trimmed out. Mask off the inside. So yeah, that's my next project after coming back out and painting a second coat of red on here. Time consuming, but fun to a certain extent. I'm down to just painting the white on here. Do a little touch-up paint on white yet, a couple little spots. So yeah, that's going to get 2 coats of white on this edge. I painted the underside red. Then when that paint dries, I'll put them out in my pickup out in the machine shed. And then I'm going to start on those 3 barns. And then I'll do all the picture framing all at once on all 5 barns. Well, it's a busy construction worker, carpenter. Managed to put a roof on 2 barns and painted the barns all in a week's time. Yeah, I guess I'm talking about these barns, not a big life-size barn. I'm going to do the picture framing for the windows and doors after I get the next 3 barns, which is cut out right there, done. Well, I'm back out in the wood shop. Since I recorded the last time, which I apologize for not recording very much, but I keep forgetting. I've built 3 more barns. Have 2 barn roofs on the inside painted white. So I have that barn boards, they're painted white already. This one goes for this barn. And then I have to paint these yet today. And I'm adding a rafter set into the barn compared to what my grandpa did. So I'm going to paint these next 4 boards here. On the inside, 2 coats. And then probably start putting roof back on them. This little plywood wants to bow up here in the middle, so I think what I'm going to do is put a post in here and then put gates to the back end as an addition to over what my grandpa had on his barns. So that'll look pretty cool, I think. Have 2 pins in the barn that way. Yeah, don't know why that plywood's got to bow up. First 2 barns he never did. those two barns do, and this barn doesn't. So, oh, I wish my wood shop was twice as big, but I can't really videotape in here because there's no room to move. Using my table saw as a bench to paint. So, I'll let you go for now and I'll get painting. Well, I picked up the dry boards from yesterday's painting. I compared them to the white painting on here, and it had more of a just a ever so slightly grayish bluish tint to it. It wasn't really white, and I was just trying to use up some old paint. They're all white. So I found this gallon. Well, there's only a little bit left in it from painting the pump house a year and a half ago, and it matches up real good with the white on the inside of the barn. So I repainted those with another coat. So that's 3 coats on there, 3 coats of paint on here, the first coat on here. So I got to let this dry and I'll put another coat on here. Then I'll have all the white painted then. Then I'll start assembly. Yeah, I hate to throw paint and stuff away, but oh well. Sometimes you screw up. Yeah, it just had a slightly off colored. Didn't quite match, but like I says, this out of that can matches what I had painted the other out of that little green can there. So, time to go wash the brush up again. Well, I've got the roofs all on except for the door that lifts up. So putting the hinges on them now. I have this door done, or barn done already. So when you need a third hand, you just take a string around it and tie it in place, and it helps hold things in place. Debating whether to put all the hinges on, and then when I paint it, just pull the hinges off or mask them up like I did last time, which ain't very hard to do either. Got these little brass screws, so you can't do it too many times. You end up, screwing up the Phillips head on them. So more than likely, I'll just mask them off. So I want to get 3 more hinges put on yet today. I did put rafters up there in the end of that. I have to do a little touch up right up in here on all 3 of them because I had to cut them a little shorter because of the stiffener and where the hinges screw into. So that's how far I'm getting today anyhow. Well, I've got the soffit and all the barns painted red under here. Inside the doors for the same part. And I've got one coat of green paint on the roofs, which I'm now going to put the second coat on. Have to be careful there. Didn't think about that. Tape come up loose on that one. Gonna have to retape it. Yeah. I'll have to retape when I get it up on the table or on the table saw. There we go. That one's not going to cooperate. I'll have to just put a little more tape on. These tapes held. So I'll get to painting these roofs here quick. Then I'll have to paint the inside of those. I have to mask it all off first. That gets a gray paint. Time to go stir paint and start painting again. And I've got the bottom of the barn's painted gray, and on the inside. So almost all the painting's done now, except for touching this white up along all the edge with this little brush. That'll take a while. Excuse me. Now I gotta make a jig in order to picture frame all my little windows on the door or the barn here. And that way they're all like the exact same spot on both ends, and then have one for the back side too. So more project on the way. It'll be a while before these are done, and then I got 5 of them to picture frame yet on the outside. So nice to have a little winter project instead of sitting in the house. So I got the door on the second barn done. On the first one on this here leading edge, right through here. Here's the third barn. As you can see, it really needs a lot of touch up. So it just takes time. I'll see if I can walk and talk and chew bubblegum at the same time here, but I usually use the other hand to hold the door open a little bit. And then I put some on and I just brush it upward. Start halfway through the board and go up. And then I hold the board up, and then I come this way and go down then. So I have to use 2 hands. Well, I'm back out here again today. I've cut, I'll get up here. I've cut 50 of these little boards for the windows to picture frame them out. So that's enough for all the windows I'm going to put in the barns. Going to be 1 here in the center, 2 on the back, 1 up here at the opposite end of the hay barn door, 1 on the center here, and then a hay barn door there. Made myself a little jig. That way they fit in here, so I got my popsicle sticks cut to fit in that jig. This edge of the board will go to the, looking at it from the back to this edge. And then when I do that side, I'll just flip the board over, and that way they're same distance up and down and same distance from the edge of the barn. So now I have to cut 48 more of the vertical pieces here. So I'm going to take one of these out and mark it as a pattern, because I've got it so that I can interchange them. They fit that nice. So yeah, lots of work, but better than sitting in the house. These corn dog sticks is what I'm going to make the ladders out of. So yep, it's working real good with the bandsaw. Pull up my chair and cut one end off, mark a bunch of them, cut them off, make sure they fit, and then move on. Well, I spent a few hours in cutting out picture frames for all the windows. I have 50 of these for the vertical ones done, 50 of the shorter ones for the horizontal. Now I just got to cut out another 25 to go around the big barn door. So do all that. I have them all sanded down already. Then I'm going to lay them down on this here old screen that I have no use for. Just lay them out there all flat. Grab me a can of spray paint, the white one, and spray paint them all. That way I don't have to brush it all on. So I suppose get after it. get the last 25 pieces cut. Well, I've got all my little popsicle sticks cut, sanded, and all laid out here, being ready to paint. Got them laying on top of an old screen I no longer need. 125 pieces there. Actually 126. There's an extra one of these small ones, but I'm still going to just paint them all. So hoping I can just take them out in the other part where I assemble stuff when it's warmer out. Just hurry up and paint it and bring it back in here to let it dry inside the wood shop. Wife is picking up some paint for me. I have some older cans of spray paint, but as much time and labor I stuck into doing it this far, I'm going to have a new can of paint. Make sure it works. So probably get painting it yet today, hopefully. Now I got all these little pieces painted. Worked pretty slick, just put them on this old screen. Gave them about 4 coats of spray paint. Turned out real nice. Cool. Now I just got to glue them all up. Get them on the barns today sometime. Oh, I'm playing musical chairs with these barns. I've got 12 windows done. Still got to put one down here yet. On this barn on this side and one down on the bottom. But yeah, this is up here, it's too tall, so I'm putting it on my chair to do it. There's no room in here. Claustrophobic. So keep rotating them around. Legs get tired of standing on the cement for all these hours, but they're coming along. Oh, got a little garbage on here. There we go. So still got all them pieces to go yet. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 10 more windows to do yet. Plus the 5 big barn doors for the hay fork or hay loft, whatever. Now this is my jig for putting what they call the big barn door, hay loft door on. Have to do that before I do the window down below. That way it lays in there flush. And when that's done, then I put this in here and then I do the bottom window. Have that barn all done as of for now. I have to put a little 3/4 inch board by 3/4 inch in here yet. On this barn and this barn. And I got to do a little red painting in here yet. If I had to put a partition gate in here and stuff, so I'm gaining. So this is my 3rd hayloft door, so I got 2 more to go on those barns back there. But I'm gaining. Hayloft doors don't really need much adjustment on the sandpaper, but it seems like the windows sure do.